The young man who pretended to be my boyfriend was who took me to Las Vegas and forced me into human trafficking. I didn't actually know I was being trafficked.
Now on Local 5, victims share their stories of experiencing unspeakable crimes in a Local 5 investigative report. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We would like to think it happens somewhere else. That's why it's often called the unseen crime.
But human trafficking is happening here in Wisconsin.
Local 5's Rhonda Fox shares the harrowing story of two women who survived this horrendous experience.
My physical intimidation came with me not wanting to get up one day and doing what was asked of me and getting up to get ready to make money. And when I refused to do that, he ended up taking his cigarette that he was smoking and putting it out of my neck.
And I was almost strangled to death. Was one that was a big moment for me. I thought that that was going to be it. That I can remember thinking, my baby's not going to have a mama. I felt very much, what's the point? And tried to kill myself during that time.
For many human trafficking victims in Wisconsin, oftentimes their story can be found near the hustle and bustle of busy highways.
We see a lot of issues related to human trafficking occurring at the hotels and motels, particularly along the I-41 corridor. We think about the Fox Valley area as a very safe area, and it is a very safe area. But the reality is that there's trafficking that goes on a regular basis.
Human trafficking is the use of fraud, force, or coercion to obtain labor or commercial sex. Victims can be of any age and are usually women.
It is a criminal industry. It's a business governed by supply and demand. So where there is demand, there's going to be a movement and girls being taken to different locations.
When you don't know where you're at exactly, you don't know how close you are from the next place that you call home. When you're in that lifestyle at times, you don't exactly know where home is.
The young man who pretended to be my boyfriend was who took me to Las Vegas and forced me into human trafficking. I didn't actually know I was being trafficked.
Victims often don't know they're victims because a main recruitment tactic is pretending to be a boyfriend.
A lover of mine started off as a boyfriend relationship. Then it started with physical abuse because I didn't ask for permission to go out. I received a punch in my lip, and because of that I had 6 stitches on the outer and 4 stitches in the inside of my lip, which it was split completely open. You could see straight through it.
A lot of human trafficking is about power and control and keeping control of, in most cases, a female companion. Involves the male counterpart keeping their identification, keeping their money, keeping drugs on them in order to control them.
It might seem like they're choosing. They may have been mentally manipulated or physically manipulated into doing it.
I just thought I was in domestic violence and that I had made bad choices. I wasn't kind of marrying the two, that it was domestic violence it was the violence that was actually forcing me to make bad choices.
Unlike so many human trafficking victims, Esther and Rebecca were able to escape.
It took me enough courage just to leave all my things behind and walk away with nothing.
December 31st, 2007, I ran for good. I remember that date because I watched the ball drop on the television in New York while sitting in the Las Vegas airport. I hope people realize that trafficking happens in every community across America. It's going to be very different than what it looks like in Wisconsin than it does, maybe in Northern California. And so what's important is we learn more and we educate ourselves.
In Oshkosh, Rhonda Fox, Local 5 News.
Thank you, Rhonda. And survivor Rebecca Bender has written a book called In Pursuit of Love, where she details the 6 years she was forced into sex trafficking.